Hello, this is the word of the Lord for Memphis, Tennessee. If you live in Memphis, Tennessee, you need to hear this word. This is from October 4th, 2025. For 2 nights in a row, I've had dreams about Memphis. And so this morning, this is the word that the Lord gave me for Memphis, Tennessee. There are evil designs for Memphis. This is a city that continues to have corruption and sabotage throughout its history. Now there is a scheme afoot to poison the people of Memphis. You will see an increase of tumors and cancer in the population because they are being poisoned. For so long, Memphis has bared along with crime and corruption. They have been unwilling to prosecute corrupt leadership. There is a mafia type running Memphis. Gangs are working in tangent with the police, and people within the mayor's office turn a blind eye to the corruption that is there. Follow the money. Someone is getting paid to continue to let Elon Musk poison the residents of Memphis. Who do you hear trying to calm your fears about the environmental dangers that it poses? The population of Memphis is not a valued population, so they are being poisoned while corrupt leaders profit. Why won't you get corruption from your midst? You know people are crooked, but because of ethnic pride, you continue to bear with them. My people are like orphans who continue to stick up for their brothers, even though they do wrong. They see them as family, and family sticks up for family, even when they are causing harm. You do not require righteousness from your leaders, so you continue to suffer. Just because they are black does not mean they are for you. Pray and repent. Pray for the corruption of a city to be exposed. Stop forgiving what I don't forgive. This is not the forgiveness I require. Remember in 1 Corinthians when the church continued to forgive and bear with the man who had taken his father's wife as a lover. I said such a person should be put out of your midst. Give such a person over to Satan for the destruction of his body so that his soul can be saved. Allowing someone to stay in sin is not the forgiveness I require. Hold your leaders accountable for the foolishness and havoc they create. As a city and a people, you will not be respected until you get the criminals out of your midst. However, you do nothing because the criminals are part of your families and friend groups. However, you don't see the madness they are creating. They continue to recruit more into their ranks. Soon it will be your children and grandchildren. The corruption will further seed itself into your own families. You have become like the tribe of Benjamin, who refused to give up the men of Gibeah. That sin almost cost the life of Benjamin. Their numbers were cut so drastically, Israel feared a tribe would go extinct. Deal with the sin and corruption of your city before it destroys the people there. The story of the men of Gibeah is found in Judges chapter 19, 20, and 21. It is the last 3 chapters of the book of Judges. And in that story, there is a Levite whose concubine had left him. So he lives in Bethlehem. And so he goes to the house of the concubine, to her parents' home, and he tries to get her to come home. And so they're traveling back through Israel, and they decide we're going to travel all night until we at least get back into Israel territory. And so around sunset, they get to Gibeah. It is in the land of Benjamin. When they get to Gibeah, they're in the city square, and an old man, he sees them and he's like, oh my goodness, you cannot be here. And so he brings them into his home. But at night, the men of Gibeah, they come to that old man's house and they are requiring, you give us somebody. And so the Levite sends out his concubine. He throws her to the wolves, and those wolves run a choo-choo-choo all night long on that woman, choo-choo train on the woman. And they do this until all night long until, eventually at the break of dawn, they throw her at the foot of, back at the house. And so when they get, when the Levite wakes up in the morning, guess what? Her spirit is gone. Okay? She's gone. Her life is gone. And so he sees her there, and he divides her into 12 pieces and sends 12 pieces of her to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he tells them the story of what happened to his concubine in Gibeah. And so the people of Israel, they are enraged. And so they go to the tribe of Benjamin and they say, give up the men of Gibeah who did this great sin. We do not want this corruption in our land. Give up those men. But the tribe of Benjamin was like, my cousin lives in Gibeah. I know he get a little wild when he get drunk, but that's family, And so they didn't give him up. What ends up happening is, because the tribe of Benjamin did not give up the men who had done that great wickedness, they end up going to war. All 11 tribes of Israel go to war against Benjamin. By the end of the war, Benjamin, all the women, all the children gone. All the cities burned, and there are 600 men left in Benjamin, and they are hiding in the forest. That is what happened. If you continue to read, you'll see what they did to try to restore the tribe. But literally, it almost went extinct because there was corruption in Benjamin, and they refused to deal with it. Memphis, Tennessee, deal with your corrupt leaders. All skinfolk and kinfolk. And just because they look like you does not mean you continue to let them continue in their corruption and in their crimes. God bless you. I love you. You all have a great day.